Hi, this is Poff for the 365 Days Project Video Podcast, and I had started a little bit of a tutorial series a few weeks ago, kind of the basics of photography, and the first part of the series that we did was on aperture, and so this part is going to be on shutter speed. Now this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks as well on shutter speed to give you an idea of the things that you can do for special effects and yada yada. Last week we had we had our picture of the week, and our honorable mention was using a technique that I call light writing, and so I'm going to teach you guys how to do that with shutter speed. Now, if we'll look down here, I'm going to turn my shutter there. I've set my, my ISO at 100. And I've set my aperture at f20. And basically all I'm doing is I want to close down everything as much as I can so that I'm capturing the least amount of light. So that way I can leave my shutter open for a longer period of time. So this time what I've done is left it open for 50 seconds. Okay, Nick, if you'll turn the light off there. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit the button on my, my camera. It's on the self-timer. I've got a little flashlight here, a little keychain flashlight, and here we go. Now I'm writing backwards, which is sometimes a little tough, but I've learned to do it. So you can either do it that way, and if you're good at it, let's see, let's take a look at it. Take a look down here and let's see what we got ready. There we go. It says 365 rules. Now, as you can tell, I got my 6 backwards. So we'll try it again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it the other way. Here we go. So I'm going to just do this. I'm writing just like I would normally. All right. And now, we look here, you'll see it's backwards, and then in Photoshop all I have to do is flip it around. There are other things you can do with shutter speed as well. One of the things you can do is you can do where you stand completely still and have maybe if you stand out in the middle of median with traffic passing by, you can do a long exposure and stand completely still and have the streaking lights go by. Or another thing you can maybe do is you could stand completely still, and while in the middle of like a crosswalk or something like that where people were walking by, that's always kind of interesting. So try different things, and I think using a long exposure like that can be fun. Okay, so the other side of that was a little bit of long exposure. Now what we're going to do is we're going to step outside, and I'm going to show you the benefits of a faster shutter speed. In the last segment, we kind of showed you some tips and tricks that you could do with a slower shutter speed, but a lot of times the real reason for considering shutter speed in the equation is to take the motion blur out of something. So you either get motion blur from your hand shake, which we all do when we're taking photos, or from the motion of the subject. Now, if you're trying to get rid of the motion from the camera shake, what you want to make sure that you do is you shoot the reciprocal of whatever your focal length is. You want to shoot the reciprocal of that on your shutter speed. So like on this lens right here, I'm using an 18 to 200. Now, if I'm shooting on the 18 side, then I want to make sure that I shoot a 20th of a second or more. If I'm shooting up to the 200 side of the lens, I want to make sure that I'm shooting a 200th of a second or more. That'll get out the shake from your hands. Now, if the subject is moving, let's say in sports photography, or you're doing a jumping shot per se, then what you want to make sure that you do is set your shutter speed to a higher shutter speed, no matter what. Right now, what I've got mine set is at 1,000th of a second at f8, and I'm shooting at ISO 200. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this on the lens here, and kind of forgot my remote a little while ago. So our cameraman here, Rodney, is going to he's going to trip the shutter for me. So I've already kind of pre-focused on an area over here. So I'm gonna come stand over here. I'm gonna do a jumping shot. Let's see if we can do this. Rodney's gonna try to multitask. He's handling both cameras here. So let's see if we can capture it in one take. All right, here we go. On 1, 2. All right, as you can see on the screen here, I'm nice and sharp, and it's caught me and frozen me in midair. So anyway, those are the two things that you want to kind of think about. Again, with handshake, you want to make sure that it's the reciprocal of the focal length. So if you're shooting if you're shooting an 18mm lens, you want to shoot at least 20th of a second or more. Well, for the 365 Days Project Video Podcast, my name is Stephen Poff, and we'll see you next week.